So let's see how the quality is going to look like. Why does it still say 480p? I now actually have a 2K monitor, but I'm not going to be streaming at that resolution. Doesn't seem like the quality is better. I should have definitely higher bitrate now, but for some reason, why is the quality still 480p? What could that be? I'm sorry for it. Hopefully, I will figure out how to fix that. But on my end, I said I should be streaming in full HD. Is there right now anyone watching the stream who could verify me whether the resolution of the stream is only 480p as it says to me? Because I don't seem to be able to set it to a high resolution. Could you please verify that? Anyone on the stream? If it's really so bad, the resolution that I have right now. I know the last time I was streaming it was all working well, but now the resolution doesn't seem to be the best. I'll also try to check it here. Oh, it actually seems to be full HD. Okay, anyways, I probably just, I think seems to be working okay. So let's get back to the stream. So what we'll be doing today is that I will be working on my own project, which is called Lightbearer. It's going to be hopefully the first project that I'm going to finish, we'll see. And as I already mentioned, it's going to be a roguelike horror game where I can show you what I have so far. It's nothing fancy, but just a simple example. So we have a player with a flashlight who can walk around. We can collect these light orbs, which we then can use to power some other lights. So I have this lantern here and stuff like that. So I will just open the chat so I can see everything. Okay, we also have some enemies. Those are called shadow bugs. They just kind of go onto the light and they make it weaker, which is the new thing that I have been working on. And yeah, the idea of the game is that you will be there will be a lighthouse which you're going to be trying to defend. I will have many ideas which I want to implement into the game. Right now I have not really decided which one of these things I'm going to keep in and which not, but we'll see. Right now I'm just trying to make some enemies. The player will be able to power up all these different life sources, and mainly just different from the enemies. As I mentioned, one of the main inspirations for this game is Don't Starve, where I really love the effect of the sanity on the environment. And yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff to do, so I guess we can get straight into working on the game. One thing that I've noticed is that I have some pretty big issues with some memory leaks, because as I play the game for longer, it's going to take up really a lot of memory. So let's try to profile that in the profiler to see where the issue is. I think that I've already figured out that it's something with the textures. So I will try to make the enemy spawner spawn many more enemies. So let's change the cooldown with spawning more enemies. I'll have to pause it at some point, otherwise it's going to crash or something. That was just already a lot of enemies. So let's take a look at the memory. I probably already here it is. Memory, and you can see it's taking up really a lot. Right now it's taking 3.8 gigabytes. As start was taking 2.8, something like that. Hi, Mr. or Mrs. Teach Anime. Not sure how to pronounce that. I hope you are all doing good today. And if not, at least enjoy the stream. So right now we are trying to fix a memory leak that I have in my game. You can see that the memory is really being eaten quite quickly. So I have figured out it could be something, or it likely is something in the textures, because you can see that the later, or the more we play, the more textures it is taking up. At the end, it's like 3 gigabytes, which really shouldn't be happening for such a simple game I have. So I'm thinking the error could be in two places. One is that I have a custom shader for the enemies, and then I also have another shader, which is for calculation of the light. So we can get the value of the light at any point. So I guess I'm either going to try to remove those things, or I will try a blank new scene. I guess that I will try that without the spawning of the enemies, because the shader is just on the enemies. So if you are not spawning the enemies, let's see if it's still going to take up so much memory. So let's keep it running for a while. Let's see now, let's take a look at the memory we have. Yeah, without the enemies it's much better. The memory is pretty much staying at the same amount, just 2 gigabytes, which also is something for the editor and that stuff. So it seems to be related to the enemies. Probably something with the shader, I would guess. So, I will try to remove the shader from the bugs that I have. Not bugs in the code, but bugs that are the enemies I have here. So we have the shadow bug right here, on which I have a simple shader. It's just making it kind of glow, and also it's adding some kind of noise or texture to that, which I can show you if I put it into the scene. There's like a slight reddish kind of texture, which all this is really just a sprite, like 10 by 10 pixels, something like that. And by the shader I wanted to add some kind of texture to it. It doesn't look the best, but at least it's something. And I'm not sure if this is causing the memory leaks. I don't think shaders should be doing that, but it is a possibility. So I will try to remove the shader from that, which I have on the sprite. I think I'm in the debug mode, yeah. And how do I add the basic shader? It should be universal render to the sprite, the default, I guess. It should be without a shader now. So let's try to drag it in, and now the shader is not applied. So let's see if I'm spawning the enemies without a shader, if it's going to make a difference. And the enemies are spawning. I can also try to decrease the cooldown once more. What about you guys? Are you all doing good? Are there any interesting projects you want to share? I'm not sure I understand what you wrote in the comment, Mr. Dalek. Witam! Oh, are you from Poland or from Czech? I would guess Poland, with the W. I also welcome to you, my friend. So let's try to pause it now. And what about the memory now? Oh, it still seems to be increasing, which is quite weird. And still, I guess it's taking up the textures. I didn't want that. Oh, 3 gigabytes for the textures? Yes, Poland, yeah. Nice to have you here. If you have worked with shaders, you can try to help me out with that, but I don't think, now it's definitely not related to the shaders as I've removed them. I can also enable some lights so that we can actually see something. I think I have some testing light. Here it is. I guess I have to play the game, yeah. So I have no idea what can be taking so much memory. Textures. I mean, I will have a texture that's like 16 by 16 pixels or something like that. What could it be? So we know it's related to the shadow bugs I have. They are causing some bugs. But it doesn't happen because of the shader. I will try to spawn some other enemies to see if they have the same problem or not. I also have some shadow hands. I know, very original. They are just supposed to kind of grab the light from some of the light sources. So this is something that I kind of copied or taken inspiration from Don't Starve, as I mentioned, where as you are close to your to the fire you have, and if your sanity goes too low, then some kind of hands will start appearing and they can kind of grab the light, which I also kind of like that aspect. So yeah, let's try to play it once more. I guess that for the hands, they also disappear after some time, so I will try to decrease the cooldown so we can get a bit more of them. Let's try it like that, so you can see they are stealing the light, yeah, there's just too many of them. So let's check out the profiler once more, and yeah, again the memory seems to be going just too high. Hi, good luck fixing leaks. Thank you. Most of them caused by materials that are created in scripts and not clean up afterward. Hello, Mr. Osgur. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I guess it's some kind of Finland, something like that. Thanks for the advice regarding the scripts changing the materials. I don't think I'm doing anything like that. I'm just spawning the enemies and then just removing them, and I'm also using object pooling system for that, so that should not be causing the issue. I don't do it in shaders. The last one I do is based entirely on Unity Engine UI. Okay, but I seem to be having the problems even without the shaders, because I've turned them off. But I guess that on the shadow hand I still have the shader. That's a good thing that you are pointing this out. Are there actually any shaders based on UI? Unity Engine, I guess. Because I know you have the shaders, lit shader, unlit shader. I didn't know there's anything specifically for UI. Lit shader, canvas shader graph. Okay, I didn't know about that. Yeah, usually I was... sorry, my webcam is doing some weird stuff. I will try to fix that in the filters. I was usually working more with the classic coded shaders with HLSL, but now I've tried the shader graph and it's actually being quite useful because it's really easy to work with it. And yeah, the coding shaders is just something totally different from coding classic scripts. I also seem to be getting some error. Okay, but I would first like to take a look at the memory leaks, so I will try to remove the shader from the shadow hand as well. I think that now it is still here, so let's do this one to the and you... Oh, I'm already using this one for the hand as well. Okay, and I also try to just add the sprites kind of manually without the script doing that to see if it's maybe going to change something. So let's remove the spawner, and now if I just drag in, I can try to drag in just the textures on their own, but they should not really be taking up any memory since it's just only a few pixels. So let's try the shadow bug that I was trying. If I just drag it in, add really a ton of them. This shouldn't really do anything. Has been destroyed. And now it's taking up for the textures only a few megabytes. What could be causing that? So it seems to be happening when the spawner is just spawning it. It seems to be taking up a lot of memory for the textures. But here the spawning is really nothing complicated. It's just choosing the enemy that's based off the percentage, which I have in the class enemy to spawn. I can set the chance to spawn enemy in percent, and then I am I'm actually trying to search for the right position, which, how am I doing this? Getting some index, then I'm trying to get the light at position, for which I have a custom function. The way that I'm getting the value of the light at some position is really quite ugly. I think this could also be, oh, that's probably causing the issue. Because I have the read pixels here, just reading from the texture. This is probably going to be it. Yeah, I should probably do something about the way that I calculate or that I get the light at some position, which is a main element of the game, that we just need to know how much light is there at certain points. So this function returns me a float. I think it's something between 0 and 1 based on the value of the light. And it's really ugly the way that I've done it. I don't know if I even want to show that to you, but the way that I've done is that I have a second camera somewhere. Where is it? Here. A second camera I have. This one is rendering, I think, everything. I'm not sure. And it is rendering it into a texture, which is probably the reason why we are getting the so many memory is being eaten up. So I have the camera, which is rendering everything that the player sees. This is being put into a texture, which doesn't have that big resolution, but if you are doing it every frame, I guess it can eat up a lot of memory. We have this in the texture, and then I think I've... Oh, am I actually... I don't remember exactly how I did this. I know it's some really ugly logic. I think I have the texture, render texture. I think I'm then drawing the texture onto a quad or a square that I have here, and from that I'm just able to get the value of the light. But that's a really ugly way, and I guess that's the reason why we are getting the memory leaks. Because here we are reading the texture. I think this is maybe something similar to what you mentioned, that in the script we should then properly clean it up, which I don't know how to do with the textures. So here I'm reading the pixels, and I guess I need to when I read the pixels, what am I actually doing with that? I call read pixels pixel color. Do I even need to call read pixels? Yeah, to be honest, I just copied most of this code from somewhere online. I mean, I know kind of how it works, or I knew it, but I also kind of forgot. I'm not sure there could be some kind of reset memory, memoryless mode. I don't think that's what I want. I would guess it's this function read pixels. So I will try to search it up. I hope there's not going to be any inappropriate content right here. So how do I search for that? Unity, read pixels texture, something like that. Read pixels, I think this is what I'm calling right here. I suppose this function could be causing the memory leaks, but I cannot be 100% sure. So how do they do it? Read pixels, reads pixels from the current render target, writes them to a texture. Yeah, I'm writing them to a texture. Then you must call apply, which is what I'm doing, to upload the changed pixels to the GPU. Read pixels is slow because the method waits for the GPU use. Okay. This is some advanced rendering stuff that I haven't really looked much into before. The following. Create texture. Setting the main texture. And where are they calling the read pixels? Here, destination read pixels. Then I guess they call apply, yeah. Reset the is performing scene grab state. I guess that's some kind of local boolean they have. It seems like that. But they also don't seem to reset it anywhere. Maybe release. That's smart. But I don't think there's a function for that. And I'm also not sure if I should be calling it on the texture I have. No. Apply, clear. Resets the requested level field. Copy pixels. Get pixel. I mean, I cannot be sure if this is what's causing the leak, but I could try to verify that. I guess if I just call the function many times in a row, it should tell me whether this function is causing it or not. So let's try to probably set up some kind of testing script for that. Or maybe let's put in the enemy spawner for now. Why not? So I have a loop right here that's running. Yeah, why not? Let's create just a testing loop that's going to call it. I'm not sure if every frame is going to kill my PC or not. Let's try it like that. And let's just try to wait for, let's say, 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So let's do 100 milliseconds. And then let's try to call the function. So float current light level. We can do, I think it's light utils, get light at position. For the position, let's say just transform that position. Let's see if this is going to make my PC explode or not. Again, loading Unity. I'm looking forward to the Unity 7 version, where I think they want to make some performance improvements. And they also mentioned that they want to make the compilation of the code kind of asynchronous. It's going to run some in the background, which I think would be really great because it will save you a ton of time. So anyways, let's try to run that. I think we should be good to go. So we'll keep eye on the memory. Total 2.18. And now how much is it? I have to make this bigger. Memory. Oh, now it seems to be staying the same, even when I'm calling the function all the time. Just for all of you guys who may be new here, I'm now working on my own project, which is called Lightbearer. It is kind of a horror roguelike game. Right now we are trying to fix a memory leak that I'm having when I'm spawning the enemies, even though the enemies have really tiny textures or tiny sprites. It's like 8 by 8 pixels, something like that. Still, it's taking up a lot of memory. So I thought it is coming from a function that's reading textures, doing all of that kind of stuff. But right now it doesn't seem to be the case, which is quite weird. But okay, I guess just reading the pixels then already somehow unloads them. And this doesn't seem to be, just in case, I will just put a debug log here to be really sure that the code is running, because you know, sometimes you can overlook something totally trivial. Calculating, something like that, just to see a log in here to be sure that the function is actually being called, but I'm pretty sure that it is. If I play it, let's see. it's being calculated. So memory is not rising at all, I think. Or actually it is rising, kind of. Right now we are at 1.95. Speed of running is going to be higher, but I'm not sure if it is rising as quickly as it was with the enemy spawning, because this is running already quite often. And now we are at 230. Maybe it actually is being caused by that function. This is something I didn't really want to be doing on the stream at first, so it's going to be quite a bit more complicated issue. And yeah, I think I should just take a look at another way how we can calculate the light, because this one with drawing the texture, the second camera is probably not effective at all. I knew from start that this is going to be an issue. I think I also have a note somewhere that I should rework this. Yeah, rework light level calculation. So it's definitely something I should do, which would hopefully get rid of the memory leaks I have right now. So I'm not sure if I will be trying to figure that out right now, because it's not really the most important thing for the gameplay. So I will just add a note here. Texture 6 GB of space caused by the calculate light level function, or however it is called. Little function. And I should just rework it. That's the main thing, because this way is probably not the most optimal. So at least we figured out what the cause likely is, which is just calling that function, which is handling the textures, all that kinds of stuff. So I think I will leave it for later, when I can think about that, Google, and that stuff. So we got that, okay, that's great. Next, I think I wanted to also do some more work on the shadow bugs I have. So far, what I have, when I let it play, is that the bugs are just going to follow some light. They get closer to it. The more bugs that there are on the light, the lower the intensity is going to be. So right now we can see it's shining quite a lot. And if we let more and more of them to come here, you will see it's going to be darker and darker. At some point it's going to, there's not going to be any light at all. Then when I come right here with my flashlight, it's going to take some time, but they are going to be taking damage. They will disappear, and it works like that. So I was thinking I could make it maybe a bit more randomized with their health and that kind of stuff. Or so right now they're kind of disappearing at once, and I think I probably also messed up something, because they seem to be spawning, and right away I can kill them. It should not be happening. It should take a bit more time. I think I know why this is caused. I always do this, and the list just keeps going. That's true, but I think I should first get some kind of working prototype, and performance shouldn't be something I worry about right now, at least I think. But I definitely know this as well. I'm just adding more and more ideas. There's just so much. So for the enemies, because I'm using the object pooling system, I'm not actually destroying the enemy, or the shadow bug in our case, which is not actually resetting everything. So what I think I need to do is that I will just need to reset the health, and that's actually in another script, enemy health. So I'm already doing that. Current health is equal to maximum health. Okay. Because I feel like when the bugs... Hey, hi, Mr. Manrai. Welcome to you. Are you doing good today? I hope so. So let's try to check that once more. I know this is just a tiny issue, but I don't want to be leaving bugs in my game. Or only those bugs. I want to leave those, but not the bugs in the code. Because I feel like when they come here, they just die too quickly. Sometimes they die, sometimes not. I'm not sure if it's maybe caused by the light of this thing, which is supposed to be the light bulb of the lighthouse, which is going to be the main building, and this will be the light you're going to be trying to defend the most. But I guess this is not a problem for now. But sometimes they just die as soon as they get there. Hey, hi, Mr. Cashier Money. That's a nice name. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad that you like that you like the game. For now, it's just a simple prototype. But yeah, I hope it's going to turn into something nice. Yeah, I will probably just leave it as it is. It seems to be working fine so far. So what do we get to next? The enemies. I wanted to make the bugs move in groups and some fancy stuff like that, but I think I will leave it as it is for now, because it seems to be working pretty well. Yeah, I guess we should work on some new feature right now. I want to add the sanity for the player, but that will be more kind of polishing, I would say. It's not something we have to do right now. This is also some kind of polishing. I also used AI to generate some of these ideas. I obviously don't take them straight from the AI, put them here. I think about them, and I don't use most of them, but I feel like it is a nice way to get some ideas, at least for inspiration. I joined your server. Yeah, thanks, man. I hope that you like it there, even though it's kind of dead, to be honest. No one is really messaging anyone there, but we'll see. It's just a option in the future. Maybe we can do some events there, something like that. But I'm glad that you are interested in that kind of stuff. So what could we work on? I'm thinking we should probably do something with the light, because this game is supposed to be about generating light, keeping the lighthouse kind of active, keeping all the lights shining. So right now I have only the total basics. I have the flashlight we have. I can pick up some of these lights. I can drop them into these lanterns I have. So already there is some way how we can manipulate the light, but we could definitely do something about that. So I would like to have a way how we can actually generate these light orbs that I've just picked up at start, that will generate the light orbs, power all the lights with them, and so on. So I'm thinking that we could have some kind of fireplace, some kind of fire, where we could add some wood, add some coal, and it would generate these light orbs for us. So then we could just collect them. And I'm also planning to add many various sources of the light. So we could have some kind of coal generator. We could have, for a start, I was also thinking about a bike, which you could kind of ride and it would generate some kind of electricity, something like that. So yeah, I think that for now we could add that kind of fire, which would generate the light for us. So I think this will create a nice dynamic that you'll need to think about where you are going to be creating kind of light energy, so from the fire, and then you will need to be transporting it somewhere into those lanterns I have and into many other light sources. So let's create just a placeholder for the fire we are going to have. Just add it somewhere over here. Fire. I think fireplace is something different. Or is it the same thing? Yeah, fireplace is something different. Let's just call it fire. Why not? So we have the fire. Let's just add some basic to the object, some basic sprite for that. Why not? Something totally simple is going to work. I'm not sure if you want to see me draw the texture of the fire. Maybe later, you'll see. So I'm planning to be able to pick up some wood, bring it to the fire, and after some time it could generate some of these light orbs that I can then take into those other light sources, which will actually be generating the light. What do you think about this idea? Do you like it? Would you change it in any way? Does it sound interesting in any way? Because I want the game to be mainly about manipulating the light itself, and not about manipulating the resources like wood, coal, and that stuff. So I would like to keep it kind of simple, have just few resources, let's say wood, coal, gas, something, electricity, and I'm also thinking that each one of them could have some other kind of special effects. They could deal different type of damage. It could be effective against different types of enemies. It could have many other different properties, let's say. So yeah, let's probably not overthink it anymore and create a fire. So for this, we'll need a few things. I will just write it down so it's more clear what I'm actually working on. Let's create new. Oh, we have structures already. Okay. So we have the fireplace. For this one, we will need to just register the player. He's going to add the light or add the wood into the fire, and there will be some kind of cooldown. It's going to take some time. So cooldown, and it's going to spawn the light orb. That's really simple. I'm just thinking about how we do the interaction, but I think the simplest is going to be just come to the fire. It's going to show some kind of text. Add more wood into the fire, and we will do it, and so on and so on. So let's create some kind of script for the fire. I guess I will keep this in interactables probably. Or in the lights, maybe. Doesn't really matter that much. Let's keep it here. Interactables. I will just call it fire. And I'm also using namespaces for some of that stuff. I'm not sure if why not? Let's put it into this namespace. So we keep it at least a bit organized. Sometimes I feel like I'm organized a bit too much, but I feel like more organization is better than less. So for the fire, I guess I'm going to register the player probably using some kind of collider. I usually don't like using the on trigger entry much because it feels just like it doesn't work every time. I would more prefer to use a raycast, boxcast, something like that. So in this case, I think we can use a spherecast. So let's have some kind of private function. Let's say check for player, or I'm not used to coding while stalking, so I need to actually think about this a bit more. Whether we actually need to. I think we should do it the other way around, that the player is going to register whether there is some kind of interactable around. I think so. Because if the fire registers the player, this way it's kind of pointless. The fire doesn't really need to know whether there is a player around. So I will keep the fire script, and I'm thinking we could have some kind of abstraction, maybe some interface, maybe a class that's going to be for each type of interactable into which we can add some kind of fuel. So then it doesn't matter whether it is the fire, whether it is some coal generator. We'll have just one base class for that. So how do we call that? Let's say fuel, or say not fuel, light generator. I think this could work well for the fire, for some kind of coal generator, gas generator, whatever. I think this could be good. Why not? Again, for everyone new that has joined, we are now working on my own project, Lightbearer, which is going to be some kind of roguelike horror game. I've taken some inspiration from Don't Starve, and right now we are working on a fire. Maybe it doesn't sound that interesting, but the fire will be used to then generate kind of these light orbs, which is the main idea of the game, that you just manipulate light in many ways and you use it to kill enemies mainly. So for this we need to actually generate the light somewhere. So I'm now creating an abstraction, some kind of base class, light generator, which should it be mono behavior? Probably should. And here, for every kind of generator, we probably need, I guess, just one function for now. Later we'll see. Just one function, add fuel. I think some kind of makes sense for any kind of generator. Add fuel. I guess it's just going to take the amount of the fuel, integer amount, and we should probably also have the type of the fuel. So how do we do that? I'm thinking scriptable objects, but I'm not going to have too many types of the fuel. So probably enum is going to do the job. So let's have a public enum fuel type. So I will have wood, maybe gas, maybe electricity. Electricity is not really like a fuel because it's not going to be, or it could be used to generate light, who knows, we'll see later. So the light generator is going to have, it will have the variable storing the fuel type that's required. So do we make it public? For now, yeah, later we'll see. Fuel type, fuel type, fuel type. That's it. And then when we add the fuel, we should probably have some maybe helper function that will allow us to check whether we have enough of that fuel type, or do we just do it in the player, where we just register the player and then we check if we have enough of the fuel type. I guess we can do it this way. Why not? Let's not overcomplicate it, which is what I'm pretty good at. So we should maybe also store the current amount. I guess this will be protected, so we can then access it in the file, which is going to be a subclass of this one. Protected integer current fuel. And we could also have some kind of fuel capacity, which also can be protected, but I would like to set it in the inspector. Serialize field, protected integer maximum fuel. And when we add a fuel, we'll probably use some kind of clamp. So let's do current fuel of yeah, what happens if the player tries to add in more fuel than what we can fit in there? I guess we should maybe for now, let's keep it as it is again. Do not overcomplicate it, which is what I'm good at, as I mentioned. So let's do, I guess I will just do clamp. It's probably the easiest solution. So for the value, we will use current fuel plus the amount we want to add. And for the minimum, let's do 0. For maximum, let's do maximum fuel. This is that. I'm just going to put my desk down because my feet already hurt a bit. So let's do a bit of manual work over here. Does any one of you also have a stand-up desk? So I feel like it's really a nice thing. Oops. Okay, there we go. Let me just move it a bit lower. Yeah, I feel like stand-up desks are awesome because you can just change the position you are in, and I feel like it makes me quite a bit more productive. I have something published on Android iOS. I have one app which is, it cannot be really used commercial, let's say, because it's only for the people who have the product. The app is for a climbing wall, because I have a trainer who has made his own kind of homemade climbing wall. It's not like a classic wall where you just have the holes and you climb on it. It has LEDs for each of the holes, so then you can kind of create your own routes using the app. It's going to light up all of the LEDs. So that's what I published for both Android and iOS. I have also helped 2 clients to publish some games, but nothing really major that you could play right now. So this is that. And for this game, the Lightbearer, I'm hoping to publish it, I'm not sure if on Steam, maybe itch.io, something like that. And what about you? Have you published anything? So we are adding the fuel. I hope this is going to do it. Should be pretty simple for now. The fire is then going to inherit from light generator. And the add fuel is not going to change at all, I don't think. It should also be abstract class, so we cannot use it on its own. And should we have some abstract methods? I think, I'm not sure if there's going to be really any differences between all of the light generators that I want to have. Because what is going to be the difference between having a fire and, let's say, a gas generator? There's going to be some kind of cooldown. It will be generating the light. Other than that, only the visuals will be different. So I'm not sure whether I guess I need the subclass for that, since we have the different... Has been publishing for over 10 years, really. That's great. How many games have you published? Or how many apps? That's great to have someone as experienced as you over here. So, yeah, I'm really not sure whether I need this to be an abstract class and whether I need subclasses of this one. I guess for now, let's try to do it without it and we'll see. So we have add fuel. I guess that on start, I'm going to start some kind of loop, which is going to be waiting, and periodically it's going to be subtracting some fuel and generating the light. So for this, let's have a private void generate light that will run every, say, 1 second, 10 seconds, minute, who knows. Then we should probably start this. We can probably do it on enable. So on enable, or we probably shouldn't be generating it from start. How do we do that? Could also run it on update. Now I'm basically deciding how to make the cooldown. So there are multiple ways. We can use a coroutine, which I haven't used for really a long time, even though I probably should take a look into them, because they have some benefits, because coroutines don't run when you exit the play mode. I'm not sure whether they are affected by the time scale that you set. Yeah, I've really just got used to using the async await workflow, but I should probably take a look into coroutines again. So basically I'm trying to decide whether I should make the cooldown using coroutine, which I don't use, so that's not an option, async programming, or just some kind of timer in the update function. So right now, I think that if the async await, it would be just too much checking. We would need to check if the game is still running, if we have the fuel, if... what else? We'd also need to decide when to start it. So I think for now I will just stick with update maybe. And I'm probably going to have some kind of simple timer. So for each one of them, each one of the light generators, I'm not sure if I'll be making all this protected. Yeah, for now, let's just think about the light generator kind of in general. So maybe later it will need to be a subclass, but or a base class, but right now I don't think so. Probably hundreds, but by 99 already outdated. Changes in Google Store and removed. Only 3 games. Okay, sounds good, Mr. Dalek. I also have one friend who is publishing many games, mainly some simple games. Those, I mean, for mobile it's mostly simple games. He published like those games for 4 players, where you have those buttons. There are just some simple games, and also some other, let's say, utility stuff. I think one of the apps was to clean your speakers when you just kind of play some really loud vibrations and that stuff, which I also like to focus more on quality than quantity. But yeah, everyone enjoys something different, so yeah, I would like to see some games that you made. Feel free to share here if you want. So, the current fuel, where did I end? Generate light, we need to have some kind of cooldown, which is going to be different for each one of them. So, I'm not sure if you can see the code clearly. I will try to make it bigger. Private, float, probably just cooldown. It's going to do it. Give it some default value. That's something you should definitely be doing, giving default values to your variables. So cooldown should be probably longer, maybe like 45 seconds, something like that. And what do we do? Then we should probably have something for the timer. Still not sure whether I want to be doing the timer on update, or if I should do it using async. Because here's the thing, that I'm using also the object pooling, which means that when I destroy an object and then spawn it back in, it doesn't get reset, so I also need to think about that part. I guess. Let's do it in update. Doesn't really matter. So we need to have something for the timer. So let's say elapsed time. It's probably going to work. I should maybe also create my custom timer class, but let's keep it like that. Then we just do, I probably have another function. Let's say cooldown. Why not? Just a simple name. On update, we'll be calling that. And here let's also increase the elapsed time plus equals to time dot delta time. Check if elapsed time is greater than cooldown. It means we are going to generate the light. Otherwise, we don't do anything. And this is that. Generating the light, we'll just spawn it in, subtract some of the fuel. I think I'm going to keep this perhaps for a next stream, or I will do it on my own, because I'm still a bit sick. I don't feel the best. So I hope that you enjoyed this quite short stream, just 1 hour. But yeah, for me it's something new that I need to get used to. thinking about the code and also talking to you. It's quite different, but I like it. I can talk with you, connect with you, also share some of my experience that I cannot really share on YouTube in the videos because it just doesn't always fit there. And yeah, it definitely has something to it, live streaming. So yeah, I would like to make more live streams in the future. I'm thinking at least one stream per month, maybe more. Because as I mentioned in the beginning, I think that it is a nice way to add a bit more content to my YouTube channel. Since now, as you have maybe noticed, I'm making the videos that are released every Monday. Now they are like 2 times a month. It depends, because it just takes too much time, and I also want to have time to do some other stuff, some of my hobbies, and also work on this game, do some other stuff. So that's why I'm releasing them a bit less frequently, but I feel like the quality is going to be much better. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed the stream, and I will see you on the next one. So see you.